In my last video on how to build your own AI agent from scratch, I introduced several important concepts. Number one is I introduced the idea of tools, ways to allow your language model to actually do things. These can be JSON objects, API calls, CLI commands, SQL queries, anything that allows your AI to actually do things and gain information. Your tools are executed within an orchestration loop using the React Reasoning Action Framework. This framework tells your LLM how to reason and take actions in its environment, and the tools are a key part of making this possible. However, a while loop and a bunch of tools is not enough to make a production AI agent. In this video, I'm going to be talking about another key part in making AI agents, and that's implementing permissioning within your tools. Not all tools should be executed autonomously. Some tools are very expensive or potentially very dangerous and can't be undone. So you want to think about how to make your AI agent autonomous but safe. You can do this by introducing a whitelist or a blacklist. So within the code on the screen, I basically updated our AI loop to include a list of whitelisted tools. And the way this loop works is if the tool is not whitelisted, and then you have to ask the user for approval. If the user doesn't approve, then you can't execute that tool. Again, you can think of tools that call expensive LLM calls, or you can think of tools that might delete some files. Those types of tools need the user's explicit permission to execute. Now, so far, a lot of this has been theoretical. I'm going to show a concrete example, a real world example of an orchestration loop. This is the NexusTrade Agent Planner, and it basically serves as the planning phase for the orchestration loop. So essentially, you can think of something before this loop. I'm essentially using it to create a plan. It's a specialized prompt, and within the prompt, again, it's basically giving it specific instructions on how to explore its environment. In this case, develop, backtest, and deploy trading strategies. I have special rules for launching sub-agents, special rules for performing research and then creating a trading strategy. I try to tell it to analyze current regimes and search for past historical examples. I give this plan, which again is generated before the main loop, and I give it to the main orchestrating AI agent. This is essentially the thinker, the one that actually executes the actions. Within this code is basically these two steps at once. And we can see I have a bunch of instructions on how the agent should act. You'll learn how to build these instructions with experience, but these instructions tell the LLM how to act. And I also have the schema. Let's scroll down to React V2, and we can see is literally exactly what we talked about. It literally responds with a thought, an action, or in my app, I say an action or a command. There's some nuance, but that's not important for you. And then it can also respond with a final answer. And this basically signals to the LLM that it's done, it accomplished the goal that the user asked. Another trick for building system prompts, not just with AI agents, but just in general, is you should provide a bunch of real world examples. So let's see this plan as an example. This is the plan, and this is the action generated by the language model. It responded with a thought and an action or a command. Let's look at another example. Given this text, It responded with this thought and this action. It used this tool called a quick screener with this input. By providing these concrete examples, the agent will know how to respond in the real world. Now I'm going to show a concrete example of an AI agent in action, and it's basically going to demonstrate this part of the loop, whether or not a tool is whitelisted. In this case, in this implementation, it's simply just a toggle. You can switch between automated and semi-automated mode. I'm going to start with automated just to show you what that's like. What's going to happen here is this text right here, when I click submit, is going to go to this planner, this planner AI agent. So literally, if I type in the same thing here and click submit, the response here and the response here will be very similar. They won't be exactly the same, but they will be very similar. We can see, this is the plan. It's going to create a buy and hold SPY portfolio. It's going to back test it across several periods and analyze the results. Is literally just the same thing. Because we're in semi-automated mode, I have to manually approve every plan and every action. Again, that's essentially this part of the loop. We can pretend we have this saying plan equals generate plan, and the generate plan is just of the user's input, and then we can say user input is just, let's use the same exact user input. So next, I'm going to go ahead and go back here. I'm going to click approve, and the AI is going to automatically move on. It's basically going to start this part of the loop. It's going to generate a thought and an action. See, the thought and the action. This is what it's thinking. It's on step 1 of the plan. It's going to create this portfolio with this initial value. Now we're basically stuck here because I haven't yet approved it. I'm going to click approve, and it's going to approve. It's going to execute this action and basically create this portfolio. Now when it's done, it created this portfolio. That's essentially this result equals execute action. And then we appended that right here. I'm going to reject for now just to stop it. It appended it right here into the conversation state. And then it repeated. It did it automatically. You saw I had to stop it. It went back here. It generated a new thought and an action. And this time I just said no. It's going to break the loop and it's going to stop. Now let's switch gears and let's just switch it to fully automated mode so I don't have to approve it. It's going to execute everything by itself. This is also similar-ish to dangerously skip permissions if you use Claude Code, but don't worry, within the app Nexus, this is safe. I'm going to say, actually, yes, let's continue. And unlike before, which I had to approve all the plans, it's going to execute it autonomously because I changed it to fully automated mode. I'm going to click switch. It didn't register. Click approve. And now it's going to be fully automated. I won't have to approve any plan at all. It's just going to execute it for me. And you can see it just executed it. It's running the action. It has a thought. The thought, you can kind of read it up here. And it's just executing these actions on my behalf. I don't have to approve it. That is the important thing that makes an AI agent production ready. You have to be able to toggle between whether you're going to approve it or whether it should execute commands automatically. Now the agent is going to read and summarize these results. Again, this looks complicated, but again, this is just the result of a JSON. In fact, if I copy the message, I go back here, I create a new tab, and I type paste, you can see it's literally just a JSON object. And I have some UI magic to make it work. That's why you see all this. but it's literally just this here in a loop and a lot more code. That's pretty much it for this lesson. So just for a brief recap, I talked again about tools. They're extremely important. I talked about the orchestration loop, and I talked about how do you actually get your agent to work automatically. You might have a whitelist or a blacklist. You might have a button that toggles between automated and semi-automated mode. All these are different strategies for implementing autonomy in your AI agent. Finally, I talked a little bit about the planner, creating a structured plan for your agent to follow. This step, while it's semi-optional, makes your agent a lot smarter because it already knows exactly what it plans to do. In the next course, I'm going to be talking about how do you actually trigger an AI agent. It's going to be short but important because there are a number of ways you can start an AI agent. Whether you type it in the UI or you have something to start it automatically, this is very important, so stick around and I'll see you in the next video.